Hi there folks, welcome back to RRTV for your overnight update broadcast of the AEC 24-hour Spa. We're broadcasting again live from Spa-Francorchamps here in Belgium, and I'd like to welcome to the commentary box Adrian Jarvis and Sam Sutton from Dayco Motorsport. How you going, guys?
Yeah, I'm good, Bernie. I thought Adrian's going to jump in there, but yeah, good. Had a few hours of sleep overnight after my stint early on in the race, and should be good to go for the end.
Fantastic. I know there's a lot of guys out there pumped up, and it's great to see. But for the viewers out there, we're going to get into bringing you all up to date on what's happened in the very early hours of I guess Sunday morning here. So let's take you through the full race results. We'll do that in a moment. Let's bring you up to date, folks. So in Class A at the moment, we have it's still being battled out extremely closely between Redback Racing HPD and the Dayco Motorsports HPD. They're still the only two cars on the lead lap. At one point overnight, the Redback HPD did go down a lap. They were sitting 3 minutes 15 down on the Dayco Motorsports entry. But unfortunately, there was an incident where Dayco did spin in the bus stop, and 10 seconds later, a safety car was called, which allowed Redback to close back up. And then they got that lead back, and through pit stop strategy, I guess you could say, and they have a lead of around about 50 seconds at the moment, but it's pretty impressive, folks. We've got 9 hours and 3 minutes to go, but those two teams are still battling it out there, and I'd say they're going to be battling it out to the end of this race, and it's anybody's race at this moment, so it's extremely exciting. Dayco Motorsports also had an issue with a back marker where they had a bit of they got a bit of a incident there and took damage and had to take to the pits, which I think that's when Redback got the lead. As far as Class C goes, there's only been an issue with Redback BMW team, who were also hit by a back marker and had to pit before the pit window was open, but they had special dispensation because their car was so wrecked it's not going to make a lap. But they're still circulating out there and going on. So let's have a look at our full results here in all three classes to bring you up to speed. So at the moment, it looks like we've got Dayco Motorsports is back in the lead for in the HPD Class A, followed by Redback Racing HPD. They're now 20 seconds down from Dayco, so they're pretty much where they were last night when we left you at about 1:45 this morning. Nutters Motorsport is up into third position and 4 laps down, followed by G&T Racing in fourth position. Fifth we have Multi 21, and sixth is Blue Ox Racing. Team VPR is in seventh, and eighth in Class A is for Motorsport. Looking at Class B at the moment, Synergy Sim Racing is leading the way, followed by SDC Motorsports 2 laps down. Third in Class B, One Performance Racing, and they're quite a number of laps down now, followed by Synergy Sim Racing and TD Racing. It wraps up our Class B. Looking at Class C, Blackadder Motorsport, the number 366 is leading the way. They've got 1 lap over the Pagny and IRFF Racing team, and then we've got Selby Racing team third in class, followed by the Redback Racing BMW, which is about 4 laps down from the Class C leader. And rounding out our 5 in Class C is Pagny and IRF Racing number 310. So that's an update for you folks. As far as cars in trouble out there, we'll let you know how that's looking at the moment. So we have The GT Omega team, they are in the pits at the moment and 232 laps down. We saw those guys involved in an incident before we went off air last night with the team leader, and they've been struggling throughout the night. The other cars struggling at the moment but still circulating is the 337 Rough with Nathan Connor behind the wheel. They're still soldiering on, but 171 laps down. The 185 HPD, Peter Latham's behind the wheel of that for Team OG MRZ. They're also 171 laps down. And finally, the only McLaren in the field, Multi-21 Sim Racing, with Luke Emerton behind the wheel. They're 182 laps down, but they had to, I think, park that car overnight because they didn't have enough drivers to fill that roster.
As we're seeing a driver change for the 322 now, Luke Edmonton's out and Caleb Jordan is jumping in. And I believe the Daco HPD should be in this lap as well, so that positions will change back around with Lee being back in the lead.
Yeah, I think the pit stop strategies are definitely happening. But before we get into the race, folks, we've got our race admin live now with Scott Stevens. Welcome, Scott. It sounds like you had a very big night last night with doing race control.
Good morning, Sam, Bernie and Adrian, and I'd like to say I'm sitting in sunny Australia, but in virtual eSport world. I'm in Spa, and it's been a long night, but it's been a very good night. We've had some really close battles, and as you're talking about before, the Class A battle is still hot for honours there, and I think that's going to come down to strategy later on.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. I'm really impressed with those two HPDs. They've pretty much been battling all night, and that gap is down to 18 seconds. Daco's just come into the pits now with Reece Gardner behind the wheel. Brett Wilson is driving the Redback HPD as they now just go through to retake that lead. And I think you're right. It's going to come down to strategy between these two teams, and anyone can win this race.
Yeah, for sure, and I think a telling part of that is the flow of the race. We've, I think in total, had about maybe 6 to 7 safety car periods over the course of the race so far, and we've got just under 9 hours to go now, so if a safety car comes out between now and then, who knows what effect that'll have. But yeah, they've been pretty much swapping positions every pit stop and then the next pit stop and so on for throughout the whole night, so it's really good to see. Class B, I'm pretty sure they're a lap ahead of their nearest rival, which is so Reece Goldfinch in the 230 car is pretty sure a lap ahead of its closest rival, or 2 laps actually, so they've really been able to stretch that out. And the battle for C class, well, that's you got 3 to 4 cars there really battling for honours still, and they're all 1 and 2 laps apart from each other, so anything could happen there.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got Pagny and IRFF Racing leading Class C, I think, at the moment. Guy Leach is behind the wheel. I may be wrong, folks, because it's all messed up here at the moment.
Yeah, we've got the 366 Blackadder Motorsports team there. They look like they're about a lap in front of the Pagnian 317 car. So, but the racing throughout the night it's been pretty fierce. There's been some pretty close calls to some drive-through penalties, but we've had to call some, and some guys haven't liked it, and it's fell on some guys, positive way and negative way, and that's just unfortunately a bit of racing and what we have to put up with. But it's been good to watch, and the caffeine drip is certainly helping keeping me awake, that's for sure.
I bet it is, because I think there's only 2 of you guys up in the race control throughout the night, wasn't there?
Yeah, so myself and Grant have been doing majority of the work. Grant went off to have a nap early hours this morning. Our good old friend from Sweden, Philip, he jumped in and kept me awake and was chatting away, and it was kind of a bit of a quiet period through the early hours and that of the morning. And Nathan's in there now giving a helping hand while I'm talking with you guys. So kind of sharing the load, but looking forward to a bit of a nap myself.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's a well-deserved nap as well. As far as drive-throughs go, it sounds like it pretty much settled down from when we went off air this morning at about 1:45. I think you guys only really had one other safety car throughout the evening.
Yeah, I think there might have been one or two that were called, and they weren't long safety cars at all. So they were for a few cars that couldn't get back, unfortunately, to pit lane under their own power, so they had to use the escape tow request, and safety car came out and bunched the field up there, and it adds a little bit of spice to everybody's strategy and really makes people and the teams think on their feet on what they're going to do next. So always adds a little bit of adventure and reality into the whole thing, which is we think really positive and fantastic for the series.
Yeah, definitely. And as far as the dynamic track goes, how is that holding up out there? I had a look earlier today, and it looks like the track's definitely rubbered up a bit.
Yeah, I've had a few guys that I've talked to through social media and on chat boards on that are in the race, and it's definitely rubbered up the actual racing line, which is really good, and it looks pretty unreal, even though I should say it looks really realistic. But the one thing that we haven't seen a lot of is marbles, and I'm happy for teams to correct me on that because I'm kind of not looking out from a car point of view, but we're using a different kind of camera pack which helps us trace cars around the track. So we haven't really, race control hasn't really been able to pick up whether there's marbles building up or not, and Sam might be able to help us out on that one with that. So, but yeah, the rubbering up of the actual track is pretty awesome, and just throughout the whole exercise so far, it's gone from 20% rubbered up track to I don't know what it would be now, but it's looking pretty dark in some corners and that, so it looks really fantastic on the broadcast and for the drivers.
Yeah, I'll just jump in on that point. You're not really seeing marbles, mainly because of the passing every lap sort of thing. The only real spot we're seeing you to get off when you're in trouble is Blanchimont. And Reece Gardner in our car at the moment said that he got it out there and it feels gripped up, he feels like he can push the car. So the dynamic track's definitely having an effect, which is good.
Yeah, that's really good, and I guess one thing would be pretty awesome to see from a broadcast point of view if somehow iRacing could put into effect an overlay that shows the heat of the track compared to offline, where the track would be a fair bit cooler because it's not getting run on. I know they did that in their launch of the dynamic tracks, and it'd be pretty awesome to be able to have broadcasters show spectators the heat through the track and things like that.
Yeah, it definitely would be, and we just saw the Torque HPD spinning down there at La Source, but hopefully they'll continue going on. But yeah, that would definitely be good. It'd also be great to have a heat camera on the tyres to show our viewers how these tyres are getting such a big workout out here during the 24-hour race, as well as other endurance races out there.
Yeah, we might have to give Mark Larkham a bit of a call up for that one. He was a bit of a gun guru on the old heat gun and checking out tyres and exhaust and things like that.
Yeah, that's right. And we've just brought up the track overlay here for our viewers, and as you can see, folks, there's cars all around the track as we would have expected, and it's interesting to see how they all clump up into little battle groups as they're circulating, but it's great to see we haven't had any retirements as yet, although the GT Omega team look like they're in a bit of trouble, and they're still sitting in the pits in there.
Yeah, they've been done for a while, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say I could probably give you an update on that one. They had some, I guess, unfortunate and probably not long-term thinking bit of an incident that really probably ruined the chances of a decent result, and they can't even keep pace with GT3 cars, so they've pulled it for the day, and yeah, hopefully they can return for the next round and get a solid points haul.
Yeah, so it looks like they're the only car that has retired at this stage. They were looking very strong earlier in the race, up until that incident, which brought out the safety car. So that's unfortunate for those guys. The other teams, as we were alluding to, Peter Latham, Nathan Connor, they're 171 laps down in the 337, but they're still going strong. Do you know how many incident points this car has pulled so far in this race?
I did early on, but I had to reset my telemetry information that I get, and it tells me all the incidents and stuff, so that actually reset all my incidents. So unfortunately I don't have an updated list on that, but I think the last time we checked, which was probably about an hour and a half ago, there was one team that was sitting on about 41 incidents, and I think the highest up at that time as well was about 300 and something, so it's a pretty big difference between the two. And you know, some guys, the car that was actually running at around 40 incidents was I believe it may have been the 111 or the 177 car, one of those two. So not definitely not the fastest cars out on track, but definitely keeping within the limits of the track and keeping those incidents down.
Yeah, and both those cars, the GNT guys are fourth in Class A at the moment, and the 177 Blue Ox Racing, they're sixth in class at the moment, so they're both doing a fantastic job. But looks like we have a couple of incidents, one in the chicane we can see on camera now. A car has spun, plus there was another incident. Okay, we're under caution, folks. I should let you go, Scott. Thanks so much for popping in, and you've been doing a great job. Have a well-earned rest, and we look forward to seeing you doing your thing later on today.
Yeah, thanks, Bernie, and thanks to you guys for an awesome broadcast. You guys do an amazing job, and I don't know how we can thank you enough for putting the hours in that you do. And to all the drivers that are still out there and circulating in the teams, good luck for the remainder of the race, and we'll come and touch base at the end and have a bit of a wrap up and chat with you guys then.
Fantastic. Alright folks, well that was Scott Stevens, our race control. Been up all night, sounding amazingly lucid really, it must be said, Adrian, considering the hours he's put in throughout the evening.
Yeah, Bernie certainly sounds pretty good there at the moment. You can certainly tell in his voice, though, he is a little bit tired. He's not that upbeat that we've heard him before, but yeah, time to take that caffeine drip out, as he said, and probably once this safety card period is done with, he'll probably stay on for a little bit longer, make sure there's no other incidents that's going to cause from this safety car, because we know that safety cars, and he'll go off and have a snooze for probably an hour or so, and then jump back on. So big job there from Scott tonight.
Certainly is, and we're just having a look at what did bring out that safety car, folks, and that was car 337, Nathan Connor. We're just trying to get a replay up now, and we can see he's parked it on the side of the road there. It looks like he may have had an incident or a car failure. It's hard to tell at this stage, but they've pulled that car back to the pits. Well, actually, it looks like it could be even a connection issue. Who knows? But unfortunately, that's brought out the safety car, Sam. Yeah,
well, that's what we want. For me personally, it's brought that gap between the Class A leaders right down now. Just done a quick count. It's going to be about 12 cars between P1 and P2 at the restart, provided no one pits. So definitely spice up the action of, as you said before, Bernie, safety cars breed safety cars. So hopefully we don't get another one, but you never know.
Yeah, well, you never know, because really once we get into these safety cars, folks, the field is totally shuffled. You've got all the classes mixed up, and it definitely gets extremely exciting out there. And I don't know about you, Adrian, but I don't think I'd want to be in a Class C car separating first and second to Class A at this point in time.
No, Bernie. One of those things with those GT3 cars, as good as they are handling, they've got nothing on those HPDs, do they? So, yeah, it'd be nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking at the best of time, I think. So, these guys will be a bit aware, I suppose, depending on how fresh they are. Getting late on. I know some of the guys have been up all night, and it'll be a bit of a task for these guys.
Yeah, it certainly will. And having a look at our track map, courtesy of Joel Real Timing here, you can see the field. Some of the guys are just coming off Kemmel Straight now, but you can see as the field starts to bank up there under the safety car, and then no doubt the pit window will be open, and it'll be interesting to see who actually jumps into the pits under this safety car or who chooses to stay out.
I don't think we'll see any of the HPDs jump in because, especially 1 and 2, they're pretty fresh out of the pits. So maybe GTs, but HPDs I don't think will be pitting.
Yeah, so we can see your man there, Reece Gardner, slowing down there, and he's looking quite racy, it must be said, Sam. He's already starting to warm those tyres up out there.
Yeah, he's pretty keen. He has been in the car all until these few stints, so of course he's good to go. And we call him the PhD in HPD because he loves his car so much.
Yeah, he popped in earlier last night and had a quick chat, and he was pretty wired about the race, so it's great to see. And we should also give a shout out to the Selby guys. They're actually all camping, well, not camping, they've all taken up residence, I guess, in one of the team members' apartments down there in Wangaratta, and they've got 4 sim rigs set up in one room, all their computers. They're actually not only racing this race, they're also doing the Blank Pain Endurance, and I think they're doing the DGFX as well, which is being run someplace else in the world of iRacing today.
Yeah, that's committed. I wouldn't be that keen to get with my teammates in one room and race.
Yeah, I'd hate to think what. Yeah, we won't go there. I just hope they're all having a shower and keeping fresh.
Yeah, being boys. I don't know if there'll be too many showers going on, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't. I'd find that difficult to explain to the missus. Yeah, I'm going down to Wangaratta for a couple of days and be in a room with 3 or 4 other blokes. I think there'd be a lot more questions being going on. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got a bit of a stutter going on with our cameras this morning as well. For the people watching our broadcast, I'm actually going to close down our track map and see if that makes any difference. Hopefully it'll improve, and we apologise for that technical issue we're suffering from at the moment.
So while these pace cars going on, we've got a lot of the Class B and Class C cars have ducked into the pit lane. So it's helped my man Reece out a bit. He's got a few less cars in front of him, but a bit of a gaggle of cars on pit lane at the moment, and should spice up that GT action a bit.
Yeah, we can see them all coming out of the pits now, and it must be said the Class C cars, they've definitely turned on the entertainment for us throughout the night, haven't they?
Well, yeah, they certainly provide a bit of entertainment for us HPD drivers as well. They keep us on our toes, which is good when you do those long stints in the early hours of the morning or late at night. They keep you awake. But yeah, GT cars, generally, they're pretty fun. You can get close. I mean, HPDs, you get within about a second, and the racing kind of goes a bit south. You can't just get in where you want because of the aero push, which happened during that unfortunate incident we had with Daniel Benefield last night. Was trying to pass him, but the aero zone, and it's just not been a nice car.
Yeah, and the other guys that are doing a really big effort out there, a lot of them are, but Blackadder Motorsport, they've got 3 BMWs entered in this race tonight, or today, it feels like tonight, today, but they're also double stinting in the DGFX, I think, and they've got a total of about 6 cars competing over this weekend in various competitions, so that's a huge effort by that team. and they're currently leading Class C.
Yeah, there's some guys who are really committed to endurance racing. I know some of the guys in the Synergy Sim Racing cars, the 230 and 231, jumped out early in the race to do the Blancpain split for Australia, and then they've come back in now to finish off these 24 hours. So there's a lot of committed endurance races out there. I know us at Daco, we've got a busy month coming up with endurance. Every weekend from now we've got an endurance race until the end of October, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely the thing for iRacing and road racing at the moment, isn't it, this endurance, and it's only going to get better. The iRacing has announced the Audi, I think, is coming to our GT class, I think it is. I'm not sure if
GT3.
Yeah, GT3, that's going to be a fantastic car to have. We've got the Mercedes in development at the moment, that's also coming. One thing iRacing is going to have to do with all these cars, though, is they're going to have to start increasing the car limit if their service can handle it.
Yeah, I mean, we're just about to come to the green flag now, so the pace cars come in, field's under control of Brett Wilson. You've got to wait till you get round to the source, though, to actually be able to go for the green flag. A few drivers, there's a line on the road you actually be able to spot just before the grid starts on the endurance straight, and that's where the green flag flies. So get ready to go racing here.
There's about 8 cars, folks, separating our HPD leader, Redback Racing, from Daco Motorsports. So we'll actually ride with Reece Gardner as he makes his way through the field here.
So I got my fingers, toes, everything crossed at the moment.
Yeah, we're on board now with Reece Gardner. We'll stay with this view for a bit just so you can see how hard these guys have to work and the difference it's... Oh! Boy, that was close.
A bit of that going on.
I tell you what, I don't know how they can drive in the grass like that and keep that car straight, Sam.
Oh, traction control helps a lot. And the downforce, I mean, you can put it all full on the grass and still keep your foot in it and get away with it. It's a great car to do that. I mean, we have to do it sometimes when GTs pull a swift one on us and move where we were going to go. But yeah, it's a great car to just throw in the grass and you get it done.
Yeah, so for the viewers out there, do you actually get in a bit of a rhythm with this traffic after a while and know where to put the car to stay out of trouble?
Yeah, I mean, tonight at the start of the race, first 4 stints, the first stint's learning where you can pass the GT cars and you find out who's in what car and which cars are a bit dodgy. And then by the second and third stint, you know exactly where you can put the car and you start demanding position a bit more. You find all the interesting places. GT guys might not like it because you just slow them down. Just looking at Reece there. But, I mean, it has to be done sometimes because it slows both of us down, and often accidents are caused when GT guys decide they want to try and be tricky or get out of our way. It's often better if they just do what they're doing and we do our thing and get around them.
And I guess after a while you'd get used to the cars to keep an eye out for out there, and the cars you guys can sort of trust to know that they're going to hold their line as you go around them.
Yeah, you start building up a mental list of the who's great to pass and who's a bit iffy, and you give a bit more space, and you often see a few names pop up frequently and you're like, yep, I know what that guy's going to be like. It's a great thing with endurance racing is you know their names, you know how they're going to be, and it makes it a lot easier when they're consistent.
Yeah, and that's also a great thing about having having a league like this, running a championship over the year, because you're really getting to race pretty much the same guys every 4 or 5 weeks as we come to each round in the Australian Endurance Championship.
Yeah, I mean, I know for us at Daco, we've had a bit of a battle going on with that 118 car all season. We're pretty we haven't won a race yet, and we feel that tonight is our chance. We've kind of stacked the 145 car tonight, because we built this car for the old rules where you had to merge the 2 cars, because we're the only HPD team with 2 cars in regular races. So we stacked the 145 tonight, hoping to beat that 118 for once.
Yeah, well, you're definitely looking strong out there, and you're definitely taking it to that 118. That gap at the moment, folks, is, let's have a look at our live telemetry, 8 seconds is the gap between first and second in Class A. And these guys, as I said earlier, they've been battling it out all night, and it looks like you're going to be battling it out for the rest of the day. But Adrian, we might get a bit of an update from your team, TD Racing. They're driving in Class B, I think, this event.
Yeah, Bernie, they're in Class B. They've had a few little bit of technical issues overnight. A couple of drivers have dropped out, so I believe they're on the back of that train.
Yeah, we've got Pat O'Hara in the 227 at the moment for TD Racing. and a nice paint job they're running there. You're currently running 13th outright and 25 laps down, and I'm just trying to work out where you are. Probably about 3rd or 4th in Class B. And it looks like we have lost Adrian again, folks, so I'm sorry about that, but we'll jump back to where the action is, and that is in Class A at the moment. We can see Reese just passing Jay Kennedy there in the full motorsport entry. They had a bit of trouble earlier in the night, if you didn't see the broadcast last night, where they were actually lapping a Class B car. They hit a curb and they lost their whole front wing, which is the first time I've ever seen that happen in iRacing, Sam.
Yeah, the HPD, it's probably one of the few cars where it's prone to lose the entire front clip, is what we call it, because they clip it back on basically. So if you lose that in the HPD, you lose all your front end downforce and all your top end speed as well. So yeah, when you hit the front of the car, the clip goes, and that's what happened while we weren't live. An incident with the 121 car from Multi-21 and 118. Just a bit of lap car troubles, and it took the front end off the Redback car, so they lost a bit of time because they lost that aero.
Yeah, and it's quite costly in the HPD. At one point, the Torque Inc. car, they lost about 8 seconds a lap just because they didn't have that nose on that car. So it looks like these cars really depend on that aero at a fast track like Spa.
Well, we depend on it to get past the GT cars as well. I mean, all the corners where we're going to be quick in, we need that aero. The chicanes are about the same pace mid-corner as the GT. But corners like Pouon, Stavelo, Blanchimont, Eau Rouge and Radion, you need all that downforce to get you through there.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got Nathan Connor in the green room in the car 337. We'll bring him up because I've noticed their car's actually in the pits under repair, and we'll just see how their race is going. Hi Nathan, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. We noticed it looked like we're under caution again, folks. We'll finish this interview though, and then we'll bring you what's brought the caution out. But Nathan, we noticed you were in a bit of trouble out there again for the last caution. Can you just let the viewers know what happened?
Yeah, well, I was going alright for a few laps, and then my spotter told me the bad news about my engine. It was in trouble, so I was in that lap there with my mind on the pits, and it just blew.
Okay, so as far as fast repairs go, I take it you guys are out of fast repairs at this point?
Yeah, we are.
So is that the end of your race, or do you hope that the pit crew can replace that motor and get you guys out there again?
Well, we've got 20 minutes of repairs left, so I'll just wait. And I'll see how the car handles after then.
Yeah, it's been a long night for you guys, and it sounds like you're absolutely whacked, so hopefully you'll get a bit of sleep now.
No, I'll just wait.
We'll go and have some coffee or something. Do you want to give a shout out to any of your sponsors or anything like that before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Motorless Motorsport. And that's it. Yep.
Fantastic. Alright Nathan, thanks for popping in, mate. Best of luck for the rest of the race, and it's great to see you guys out there still circulating. You've had a hell of a night out there, but to your credit and Rick Burt's credit, you're soldiering on and doing a great job.
Yeah, I can just blame that on commentator's curse, Bernie.
Okay, you do that, mate.
Yeah.
So folks, that was Nathan Connor there, and from the tone of his voice, Sam, he sounds absolutely bushed.
Yeah, I mean, 2.5 hours to go in a 24-hour race, and to kind of throw it all away because of a mechanical issue, yeah, it's devastating. We've had it happen personally before. Yeah, it's not a good feeling when you get so close to the end and it just does that. But I mean, we look at the caution now. 368's had the exact same thing happen. I lost them on the replay, but they're in the pits with a very, very smoky car.
Okay, so that's
let's have a look. That's the Blackadder Motorsport, the 368 entry. They were doing really well earlier on in the race, but as you can see there, they've got absolutely no bonnet on that car, and it's been that way for a bit. So it looks like their motor's given up, from what you say, Sam, and they could be there for quite some time, because by the state of that car, I don't think they've got any fast repairs left.
Yeah, I mean, it takes about half an hour to replace a motor by iRacing, so they'll be there for about half an hour. This is a rare sight as well, Bernie. We've got under pace car, no GTs or DPs mixed in anywhere that I can see. The HPDs are in line, then the Class B cars are in line, and then the GTs are in line. This is a very rare occurrence.
It certainly is, and it might allow the... that's almost like the start of the race again, but this will be good, because it's going to allow all three classes to get back into that rhythm, and hopefully the race will settle down a bit. But it's interesting, your car at the moment, it's only got 2 HPDs in front of it, between them and the Class A leader, so this is looking good for Dayco.
Yeah, it's game on now. I think Reese has got a bit more to go in this stint, and then I think he's going to do another one, and then I won't give her the rest of our strategy, but yeah, hopefully these two guys in front. The 111's pretty good with getting out of the way, and the 121's got some good pace, so we'll see what that does with the traffic. Hopefully it's not going to be number 14 bad with blue flags, but yeah, you never know.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see there. And I know last night, I think you did a triple stint, and the commentators at the time, my co-commentators, were saying you guys tend to like very long stints. So has Reese triple stinted as well, or are you the only legend out there triple stinting?
I did a quadruple at the start. I did the first 4. Reese is doing 4 now, and then there'll be another big one somewhere in there.
I don't know how you guys do it, because I know quite a few drivers were single stinting out there in the HPDs and coming in feeling absolutely exhausted, but I'd say that could be the youthful exuberance of your team lineup.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I find this car really easy to drive. You just get in the groove with it. The steering's pretty light in most places, so you're not working your arms too hard. And you can almost just drive it on autopilot. It's that great to drive.
And you can see here now in Class B, it looks like TD Racing will be leading out the way as we go, and safety car will be in this lap, folks. So it's great to see at the moment all the Class B cars are still circulating, which means this Corvette C7 definitely has a longevity compared to that Riley, because normally this time of the race Class B would be decimated, but it's good to see all 5 are still out there. Hopefully we might see more Class B cars join in once the word gets out that the Corvette's racing in this championship. Yeah,
well, I mean, this new Corvette DP it's a better race car, I feel. I've driven a few laps in it outside the AEC, and it's got a better bottom end acceleration than the Riley, so for us in the HPD it's tricky to pass it because it's good out of the corners, but then it's not so great at the end of the straight. And you know, it's easier for them to pass GTs now before they get held up, and that's when the incidents that happen. So the better car for these guys is certainly seeing the longevity come out more.
Yeah, that's right, and it's a more modern car from what we were talking about last night. The Riley in real life's pretty much been mothballed, and it's quite primitive compared to the technology into the GT3s and the HPD. So it's a bit unfair for that poor old car to be competing in such long endurances with these guys.
Yeah, it was the one car that required a blip of the throttle, the old Riley. This car, the new one's fully fully sequential gearbox, everything's done fully by the computer, so a little less brain involved in getting the car up and down the gears and through the corners.
Yeah, and before we go green, folks, let's give you an update of the top 5 in each class. So at the moment, Redback Racing's leading the way, but that gap is down to 2.3 seconds. Dayco Motorsport's going to be on the hunt when this starts. They've only got 2 cars separating them. Nutters Motorsport is 4 laps down in 3rd. Multi-21 Sim Racing 5 laps down in 4th. And G&T Racing is also 5 laps down in 5th. Class B, Synergy Sim Racing's leading the way. They've got 2 laps over SDC Motorsport in Class B. 3rd, One Performance Racing, Class B. 4th, Synergy Sim Racing. 5th in Class B is TD Racing, and they're a number of laps down now. Leading the way in Class A, Blackadder Motorsport has a 2-lap lead now over Pagny and IRFF Racing. and they've also got a 2-lap lead over Selby Racing team in third. Redback Racing team is another lap down, so they're about 5 laps off the lead in Class C, is sitting there in 4th position, and rounding out our top 5 is Pagny and IRFF Racing 310. So it's looking like they're getting very spread out in Class C at the moment, Sam.
It tends to happen that way because the HPDs get mixed in, and there's a big disparity in the pace through the GT field. Is the same with the HPDs as well. It just happens to spread out, and then us getting involved mixes it all up as well.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess, after how long have these guys been racing now? It's a 24-hour. We've got 8.5 hours to go in this race. So let's do our maths here, folks.
A lot of hours.
A lot of hours. That's what I was going to say, but you beat me to it. Yes, they've been racing now for a lot of hours.
It is. Here we go. Pace cars in the lane. Once again, we have to wait till the main straight to go. Believe the leader's got a whole pace car speed, which is I think 100 kilometres an hour. I know when I was doing it, I was holding 90. Yeah, 97 k's an hour is pace car speed. That's what the rules say you got to hold until you get the green flag to fly, and that's a change since Watkins Glen, where there was a bit of a controversy over the start there.
Yeah, it's good. And it's good also that they're getting through La Source before they get going, because that could have been a lot of trouble coming into that tight hairpin under green. We're under green now. Brett Wilson's put the foot down, so has Reece Gardner here. That gap is only 1.9 seconds, and Reece will be looking at getting past these two cars as quickly as he can.
I think Tyson might have just touched the back of the redback car, then getting out of the draft. Reece has put the boosters on. He's trying to drag a bit of draft as well. Looking to hit 290, you can hit down this front straight if you get a nice draft.
Wow, and they're getting very bunched up here. Redback's just been cut off by one of the cars they're trying to lap. Daco Motorsports throwing it up on the inside here, trying to get past the GMT Racing entry. But I tell you what, they're very bunched up, aren't they?
Yeah, it's what's going to happen when you get cars on sort of equal pace, on sort of equal tyres, and you put them laps down. It's just going to happen like this. So Reece has got the move done on the GMT car. So next car is the leader. That's the first thing. I heard that in my spotters here just then. I haven't heard that in a while. And Tyson Williams is probably going to clear out. I think he's probably the quicker of the three at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. That's Tyson at the moment in the Multi-21 car, and we saw them. They were involved in that incident you guys had with GT Omega as well, and it was quite interesting because we were speaking to their co-driver at the time, and when you and Daniel, I think it was, were starting to rub paint there, we don't want to revisit that too much, but
no.
They actually called Tyson to back off at that point.
Had a chat to Tim after that incident as well, and he was telling Tyson, because Daniel put a very crazy move, but he told Tyson just to let it happen, and it happened, which is unfortunate, but Tyson ended up getting a lap back because of it. And I guess that's what you do in endurance racing. You play the long ball game. It's 24 hours, not 24 minutes. So
yeah, exactly right, and that definitely benefited them. And that 121 car is doing well. I'm trying to see that. I think they're about where would they, 4th in class at the moment. Aaron Farmer looks like they're 3rd in the number 15. But at the moment, Reece Gardner has caught up to Brett Wilson. Brett can't clear Tyson. He's going to sit there. But this is going to be a race for the lead now, folks. And it's been happening all night, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been back and forward all night. You work hard in the first half of the race to get a good lead, and then safety car messed it up. Now, Redback had a great lead, then a safety car messes it up. It's just the nature of this race. It's good fun.
Yeah, it definitely is. As Tyson jumps across to take the line back from Brett there, and Brett had to jump on the brakes, and that's allowed Reece to close up as we're riding on board with Reece Gardner. And now you can just see him starting to lick his lips here. He's looking hungry for take that lead back, mate.
Yeah, well, Tyson's flirting a fine line here between ignoring blue flags because he's not driving away, and that move before is a bit questionable. So he's not going to drive away. He's probably going to be told by the stewards to yield and let these two guys behind him through.
Yeah, well, I'm getting a bit of a flashback of about what happened probably late last night with your car and the GT Amiga car. Very similar situation as this, wasn't it? And
very, very similar.
And it's sort of, yeah, I'm getting a bit of a deja vu feeling here. So I'm not going to show my bias because that's not my job, but hopefully Tyson's going to let these guys through at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I know, talking to Tim last night, he felt a bit quicker than our car, so he asked if we could get through and said, yeah, as long as you're quicker. If you're slower, get back behind me, so...
Yeah, and it was interesting throughout the night for this Redback team. They've actually had a couple of new drivers join them for this round. Brett Wilson was in the McLaren. They've decided to park that McLaren because it was such an animal to try to drive. But they enlisted the help of an international driver, Andy Fuller, jumped in and did quite a few stints throughout the night. And he's done a very good job there for this team to keep them out front.
Yeah, I mean, I woke up this morning and saw Andy Fuller in the car, and I got a report back from one of my teammates saying, yeah, he's actually got some pretty decent pace for a guy we've never seen before. So he was one who kind of caught us off guard. We had a rough idea of what everyone else was like in the cars with regards to pace. So Andy Fuller's done a great job. I think he did about 100 laps as well, straight in the middle of the night, which is a top effort considering how late it was in the evening.
Yeah, that's right. And a bit of news about Brett Wilson here, as he's coming in again trying to make that move, but he had to back out of it. Brett's good friends with Andy Fuller, and those guys met many years ago. Our viewers may not know, but Brett used to race in the Formula One World Championship many, many years ago, and until he semi-retired, and now he's doing his time in the HPD, which is good to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's close enough to with a one car. It's not quite the same level of stupidity and speed and downforce, but it's still close enough to have that right feeling. And this gap's right down. It's 7 tenths now between first and second in Class A.
Yeah, it's definitely closing in, isn't it, as we are riding from the nose here of Brett Wilson, as we can see him just sitting back there behind Tyson Williams there. Tyson is a lap down, but he's pretty keen to try to keep that in case another safety car comes out, but it's looking like we might be going for a while till we see another safety car here.
Yeah, hopefully we go another 8 hours, 18 minutes and 49 seconds for another safety car, but I mean, I can be optimistic. You never know what's going to happen. Late race fatigue, broken car, out of fast repairs, anything can happen, and these guys should be coming up on some traffic in about 3 laps time as well.
Yeah, that's definitely going to make it interesting, isn't it? And having a look down further in the field, let's have a look. We've got Jay Kennedy here trying to lap a Class C driver. That's Osram. That's the Synergy Sim Racing, which is probably... there's a bit of contact there, I think.
Jay just had a bit of a late one. Didn't quite get it stopped and had to balk at the apex, which let the Class B car through again.
Okay, I heard a bang in the background there. As far as Class C goes at the moment, it's all going Blackadder Motorsports way with this 366. They do have the Redback BMW right behind them, but they are about 4 or 5 laps down and no threat to this car. I think these guys have about a lap lead minimum over the next competitor in Class C, so it's looking good for Blackadder at this stage. Yeah,
well, the Pagnian IRF Racing number 317 is showing as 39 laps down, while the 366 car's 37 laps down on the overall leader, so probably about a lap and a half lead in total. And a bit of contact for the 317. It's around in the fence, and Z car's just, that's intriguing.
Yeah, well, we're just going to jump back and have a look at that replay, folks. That was George Fullerton behind the wheel of that car, and we'll just see exactly what's happened here.
Well, I think just having a quick look at it, he's just come across on the ANZ car at the exit, and it's just pivoted him around into the fence at the exit of the source. He's lost the bonnet. Hopefully they got a quick repair, because they're going to be down on top end speed without that bonnet now.
Yeah, and we're just seeing him come through the chicane, and they're pretty bunched up there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens with these GT cars off the restart. There's no real pace advantage in either car. I mean, I think the IRF car was going to make a move to lap the ANZ car, and just got stuck together. Wheels locked, and it spat the IRF car into the wall.
certainly did, and we've seen that ANZ car in big trouble last night and still going, but boy did he serve him into that wall. It's just, as you said, George was trying to get the inside there, just sort of come across the front of that ANZ car, and there was nowhere to go but straight into the wall, but that's heavy damage for that car.
We've got another crash too, boys. Caleb Jordan into the fence, so something's just happened there.
Oh, hopefully not another safety car.
Yeah, we'll jump back and have a look at that as well. And it's good to have you back here, Adrian. I was worried. I thought we might have lost you there for a while.
Yeah, I'm having technical issues myself, so I know how the boys are feeling there. Had it last night too. I tried to join in last night, but still having the same technical issue, so I'm going to have to get that sorted at some stage.
Wow, we're just having a look at this replay. Poor Caleb Jordan there. He was coming through the corner with no name. Motorless Motorsport had hit the fence, re-entered the track, and ran into the side of that poor McLaren, which put him into the fence. So that is quite nasty. And I tell you what, George Fullerton was right behind and almost involved in that accident himself.
Sorry guys, just to drag away from that, but up front, Brett Wilson has had it coming together with the 1-2-1, turning him around at the end of the Kemmel Straight. I don't know whether there's going to be any penalty because of it, maybe because of a blue flag technicality, but it looks questionable for the 118. Wasn't quite far enough up, but just kind of hit him in the rear wheel, so maybe some damage on board that car as well.
Well, that's not what we want. Well, that's not what I want to hear. It's what,
what I want to hear.
It's what Sam wants to hear, but at the moment we're having a look at the 118 here, and it doesn't look like it's got too much damage, but no doubt if it has any sort of damage whatsoever, this could have big ramifications for Class A at this point.
Yeah, it looked like Brett just had enough and just sent it, and if you're not going to move out of the way, I'll move you out of the way, and it didn't quite work out.
Yeah, well that's sounding a bit like last night, isn't it? The red mist descends and you finally have enough, and it's just like, right, I'm moving now, and it sort of goes that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, of course I can speak from experience on this, but it does get annoying when you've got a lap car in front of you and you know you're quicker than it, but you just can't get the move done because he's playing hardball. I know the blue flags in iRacing technically aren't move out of my way please, but it's a common courtesy that if you see that blue flag and you're not quicker, jump out of the way. We'll make it easy.
Yeah, because it sort of puts the pressure under, and both these teams have felt that throughout the evening. It really does put the pressure under that driver that's trying to keep that gap going and that momentum going, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very hard to follow closely in these cars as well. We've got a first bit of Class C traffic now for the leaders in Class A.
Well, just having a look at Tyson's car, it doesn't look like he's suffered any damage from that either, so that's good news for both teams. Multi-21's currently sitting in 5th position, and they've got a bit of... they're not too far down from Dayco, but probably a good 10 seconds, so they haven't lost too much, I guess.
Yeah, just looking at the relative from Reese's car, they're 2.5 seconds back from his car at the moment, so not lost too much, and I believe they're fighting for position with the 111 car as well.
Yeah, that's Dylan Francis right behind there. That's the G&T entry. With Dylan Francis, he's quite a fast operator. I'm just having a look. We've got those guys 5 laps down at the moment, so he's sitting there, but I don't think they're racing for position at this point in time.
No, it's really turned into a 2-horse race for the overall standings between the Redback and the Dayco car. It definitely hasn't been that way in other events with the AEC, but it's just something 24 hours a race. There's 24-hour long races, close and spanners in the works.
Yeah, well, I think the first 3 hours or whatever it was that we went without a safety car really set this up into a 2-horse race, because the pace you guys were setting at the start of this race was quite phenomenal, and you managed to put all the cars down a lap apart from the Redback car within that first, 3 or 4 hours of the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time I put most of the lap down. Of course, don't want to sound like a big head, We did it at Watkins, which we lost the race then as well. Hopefully it's not an omen for tonight, but you've still got a long way to go. Yeah, I mean, the pace of this race, it's almost like a 24-hour sprint sometimes, and then sometimes it's like just a Sunday drive, depending on what you're doing with as much traffic and everything.
Yeah, and now that we've got you back, Adrian, let's have a chat about TD Racing. We've got Pat O'Hara behind the wheel of this Corvette C7, and they're doing a good job. I think they're running, about 4th in class?
I think they're 5th actually, Bernie, but yeah, doing well. They've struggled last night, like I said earlier before I dropped out. Had a few technical issues just like myself, so must be something with TD Racing and being affiliated with them at the moment. Just can't stay online correctly, but they're doing quite well. Brand new car for the series, like they've changed over to this Corvette. But a good move too, I think, Bernie. It's about 6 seconds faster than the GT3, so just helping along and not getting caught up with the GT3s. Probably a little bit easier to get away from them and drive around those cars a lot better now.
Yeah, and it looks like a beautiful car to drive. I'd be interested to hear from some of the TD Racing guys later on in the day about their experience with this car and just how friendly it is to do a 24-hour race in it, because really this is a baptism of fire for this car. It's probably arguably the longest race it's been in since its launch, and so far we've got all 5 cars still going, so that bodes well for this car.
Yeah, something does there, Bernie, and the thing I actually quite admire with this car is actually got the position number in the side window there, so if you ever have a look at the side of the window you can see a number displayed in there, and that's actually their position on track, so that's a cool little feature it's got. And I believe it's actually got traction control in this one, where the other DP didn't have any aids whatsoever, so that's what's making this car a little bit quicker, plus the horsepower too. There's a few differences between this. I actually haven't bought this one yet, so still trying to get the funds up to buy that one.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting that I don't know if you said position number or car number, but that number in the window is actually the outright position. That car, it's got 13 in the window, and they're running 13th outright at the moment.
Yeah, that's right, Bernie. So I think that's a cool little feature in those cars. So it'd be interesting, to have that in probably a lot of the other cars as well. I reckon that'd be a cool little thing that would happen. But obviously, that's a lot more code to generate for iRacing, and probably won't happen. But I actually quite like it, Bernie. Actually gives you a position where the car is. You don't need to go through your results. You actually can see on the car that's position number 13. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, it definitely is really cool. And one thing I think, if we ever get day-night transitions, which I think we'll probably get, I'm predicting mid to late next year, once DX11's out, one thing we're definitely going to need is all these GT cars to have their numbers all lit up, so that when we're doing night races we'll be able to see what car's what.
Well, we've got Spinning Blanchimont, 2 GT cars that have just come together. It's Dylan Francis, I believe, might be involved, and Neil De Bruin, so correction there, it's Class A and Class C cars involved in an accident there.
Okay, and we can just see now Dylan Francis is bringing that car into the pits. Let's jump back and have a look at the replay here, folks, and we'll just see what's unravelled. But that's good spotting there, Sam. We've actually lost... it looks like Dylan's had some sort of netcode issue, because he keeps on dropping in and out.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at it now on my end, and Dylan just seemed to scoop underneath the back of Neil's car and just continue on. I don't know whether his wheel disconnected or he just forgot where the road went, but he tried to make that GT3 car fly, which is interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it's my connection or what, but those guys were flashing in and out as they entered in Blanchimont. We didn't actually get to see the incident itself, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's a bit of a server issue going on there. But either way, Dylan has dived that car straight into the pits to get it serviced.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame the viewers didn't get to see it, but me personally, I just had a look at it, and it's a very weird one. I mean, the front of the car on the HPD does like to scoop things, and he just got right underneath the bumper of that rough and just lifted it up in the air, and Neil's probably like, what's just happened to my car? So yeah, a bit of an odd one.
Certainly is, and we're just having a look. That was Neil de Bruin, and he's got the only thing I can see, he's got a bit of rear end damage in the right there in his rear wing as he steps aside now just to let the other Class C cars and the Class A pass, but apart from that it looks like he's got away remarkably well, considering that is a very fast part of the track.
Yeah, he essentially got drilled at 280 kilometres an hour by a very solid HPD, so it was a bit, surprised he's still going with very little damage, as this Class A battle has closed right up now.
Yeah, it certainly has, and traffic's starting to play a part here, and we can see now Reese is right on the back of that Redback Racing as they go past to take the leader in Class C, and they've got the Laser Racing Rough in front of them.
Yeah, they should be able to clear the laser car before Eau Rouge. As we've got someone saying stuck, can't drive over all teams. That's Nathan Connors in the 337 car. Oh, he's parked on the exit of Puon. This is another safety car. Another safety car coming our way. Here we go.
Yeah, and there's also been a warning given to the 121 car earlier on for ignoring blue flags. I've just noticed that from race control, but yeah, it looks like this rough is becoming undrivable, doesn't it? It's the second time I've had a safety car out for this car, and you must get to a point where you just have to sort of decide to park the darn thing.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. I think Nathan has actually just connected and serving now, so yeah, a bit odd one, but I mean, that car has been in the walls all race long.
It certainly has, and I tell you what, they've put in a stellar effort in getting that car as far as they have, because we've seen it have some monumental crashes earlier on in the race, and the fact that they were still going with 8 hours to go is testament to their fortitude and commitment to getting that car to the end here.
Yeah, it looks like they're goose though. That car's sitting back in the pit lane, and I don't think they've got anyone connected to the server anymore, so they're done for the night or day.
Yeah, definitely. Nathan is out of that car, and looks like they've called it a day. I'd say that's probably another engine blown. I know it did blow previously, which brought out the yellow. They did put another one in there or tried to repair it, and it just looks like that car's too badly damaged.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And of course, each car got 5 fast repairs for the event, so they must have chewed through them pretty quick in the early stages of the race.
Yeah, well, they hit the wall last night in Blanchimont, and it was the most bizarre thing I've seen. They took that corner, and the rough being a typical rough, it decided as they were turning left and took the apex on exit, it threw the car right, and they went straight into the fence there without any braking whatsoever, and absolutely trashed that car.
Yeah, that's not good for your health at all.
No, well, you know, that's why it's good to have sim racing, but the really big accident we saw last night, folks, if you haven't seen the replay, is the Torque Inc entry. I think Mitchell McLeod was driving that, and he lost it going up through Radion and hit that wall, and as you can imagine, he rolled that car about 10 times up Kemmel Straight, took the front and the back off it, blew the motor, and ended up parking it at the end of Kemmel Straight, which brought out a safety car.
Yeah, he actually put that up on his team's Facebook page, and it looked pretty hilarious. It just kind of snapped and did a HPD, typical snap oversteer, death wiggle into the fence and dead.
Yeah, it certainly did, and you know, I've seen a few YouTube videos of cars in real life doing that, and that's what it definitely looked like. But it was, you know, you could add music to that, and because he did a really nice pirouette through the air. I reckon.
Yeah, this car's good at somersaults.
Yeah, I'm thinking he should throw a pink tutu on and take up ballet or something. But looking at Class A at the moment, I tell you what, we've got Redback Racing, Brett Wilson behind the safety car, and look who's right behind him. One Mr. Reese Gardner for Daco Motorsports. So now these guys don't have any cars in between them.
Yeah, well, I might leave it to you guys actually and duck back over and work with the team. So thanks for your time tonight, or today, Bernie, and I'll leave you guys for the rest of the call.
Yeah, no worries. Well, we're due to go off air very, very shortly. We're just going to wait for this safety car to go, folks, and then we'll be calling it quits. But thanks, Sam, for popping in. Best of luck for the rest of the race, and we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, cheers, Bernie.
Okay, so we've just had some news from race control, folks. There's a drive-through penalty issued to car 111. I'm just trying to bring that car up onto my screen. That is Chris Bean for G&T Racing. They've been given a drive-through penalty for avoidable contact. Also, the car 337, as we saw, did retire. They were requested by race control to park that car because it was no longer deemed safe. So that's our our second car retirement. The other car that has retired is the GT Omega team. They're parked. Josh Burden was due to get back in that car, and it looks like their day has been run as well. So after, here we go again, 14 hours of racing, pretty much on the dot here now. We've had two retirements. That's the 337, which just retired. I think that was Motorless Motorsport, and the GT Omega HPD has retired as well at this stage. But we're due to go back off air very shortly, folks, but we're going to wait until the pace car goes, and we can see now both cars for Class A are diving in the pits. That's Redback Racing and the Dayco Motorsports HPD. These guys are the only cars on the lead lap, and it looks like they're going to be battling it out for the rest of the day, as they have since 7:30. I think it was last night when this race got underway. And of course, folks, we will be off the air up until 4:30, and then we will be coming back on RRTV live, where you can catch the last 4 hours of this great race live, and we'll be covering not only the finish but post-race interviews if there are any. And we can see quite a number of cars now diving into the pits to take service under this safety car. So we'll keep an eye on these two, because this is a race for position. It's now up to the pit crews here to see what they can do. We can see Dayco Motorsport, Redback Racing, both in the pits, plus a few other HPDs there as well. We'll try and get a better camera angle here and see if they're going to change drivers. At the moment, Brett Wilson's in the car. It looks like he's going to stay in the car at this point. It looks like Reece Gardner may also be staying in the car. So it's going to come down to pits, and it looks, look at that, Dayco Motorsport has taken back the lead in Class A through pit strategy. Fantastic there. They did a 23.5 second stop compared to Redback Racing's 29.5 second stop. So that is a change for the lead in Class A and outright race at the moment. Before we go, folks, let's give you an update of all three classes here. So at the moment, Dayco Motorsports is leading Class A, followed by Redback Racing. Nutters Motorsport is in third, Multi 21 Sim Racing fourth, G&T Racing, that's a 111 in fifth, but they've got a drive-through penalty, which shouldn't affect them because they've got 3 laps over Blue Ox Racing. First in Class B, Synergy Sim Racing 230. They've got 2 laps up on SDC Motorsport, followed by One Performance Racing, then Synergy Sim Racing 2 in 4th, and TD Racing rounds out the 5 of Class B. Class C, we have Black Adam Motorsport, the 366. Jake Fox is behind the wheel of that car. Oh, there we go. Let's bring that back up again. Oh man, hang on. Okay, Black Adam Motorsport, Jake Fox behind the wheel there is leading Class C, followed by Pagny and IRFF Racing. There's a 2-lap gap between first and second at the moment. Selby Racing Team is battling it out with Pagny and IRFF for second and third position, and then 1 lap down in fourth, well, they're actually 1 lap down from third, is Redback Racing, and they're now 3 laps down from the leader. And then rounding out our top 5 is Oceanic Sim Racing 351. And the driver driving that car at the moment is Matt Nethercote. So you can see this restart's going to be quite interesting because we have the 2 leaders of Class A and B pretty much buried in the field here, and passing cars is going to play a big part in here, and hopefully they can all stay out of trouble at this point in time. If you're wondering why we're not seeing the safety car, folks, it's because I have no clue who's behind the safety car here from my... There we go, the lights are out. So we've got Laser Racing who will restart this race. And just trying to see who is behind the wheel of that car. The guys that we want to keep an eye on is, of course, Redback Racing and Dayco Motorsport. And we'll get them under a restart, and then we're going to bring up Dylan Shepherd for a bit of a chat here before we go off air. So we're on board now with Brett Wilson from Redback Racing for the restart here, and they'll just come through here. They'll be getting the green flag now as they come through the source, and it's on. So we can see Reece Gardner there diving up the inside, desperate to get past these cars and get a bit of a gap there, as he's really pushing it side by side here through Radion. Brett's just lifted a little bit here. Coming up, he's going to have to thread the needle between. He's going to have to watch it. TD Racing left, Selby right. Class B and C cars. He's cleared both of those. He's looking up the inside of the Blackadder Motorsport and cleared that car. But we can see Reece Gardner up ahead now getting a bit of a gap. He's already passed 3 cars. Brett's now past another Class C car, looking at the G&T Racing HPD up ahead to get past him. And Reece Gardner at the moment, he just wants to get this gap as big as he possibly can as Brett Wilson passes the Bayco BMW. You can see Reece Gardner here now. He's passing the 277. He's got Laser Racing on the outside. He's through both of those cars. Brett's still sitting behind the G&T Racing HPD. He's got 2 cars separating him from the class leader at this stage. And before we go off air, folks, we'll have a quick chat with Dylan Shepherd. Welcome, Dylan, and to the commentary box. How's your race been going overnight?
Hey Bernie, pretty good actually. Everything's been running pretty smooth. Haven't had any dramas, major dramas at least. So yeah, we've been keeping our car straight and looking forward, and yeah, no problems, and it's just been great and being good with all the guys, getting on, and yeah, it's been a great race so far.
Fantastic. So who's behind the wheel of your car at the moment?
Oh, at the moment we have Brand Tucker, who you spoke to yesterday. Yeah, he's having a run at the moment. I think it's his second stint now. He hadn't started till around 10 o'clock this morning for his first stint. Whereas, yeah, we had like a team of guys going through the night, and now it's up to him and Joe to get through a bit of the day before we get to the last few intense hours.
Fantastic, and it's good to see the All-Star Motorsport guys jumping in with you guys for this event. And can you tell the viewers what the Corvette's like to drive compared to the Riley? Is it a very friendly car?
It actually is, Bernie. I think that's one of the reasons we're not seeing as many Class B cars getting crashed out as we are seeing GT3s. They're actually a pretty easy car to drive. They've got traction control and all the assists. So yeah, they're actually relatively easy, hard to be quick, and you can feel the limit. Especially with the rubber going down, you can definitely feel when you're online and offline, and yeah, so it's pretty easy to find your limit and drive to it. So yeah, I think that's why we're not seeing the Class B cars crash as much as the other cars.
Yeah, because the Riley, as I was saying earlier, was quite a dinosaur, wasn't it? You didn't have any traction control, any ABS on that car whatsoever, and it really showed by how many retirements we had in Class B. But I'm hoping now that the Corvette's in, we will see a bigger Class B as the AEC continues throughout the year.
Yeah, that's it. I'm pretty happy to see that a couple of teams jumped on board with this. We weren't even going to race until we were able to get the All-Star Motorsport guys to come on, because yeah, without them we would have had a team to run. So yeah, it was great to get them guys on board, and I think with this car, you're right, a lot of people are going to start moving towards it. You know, everyone always likes to get into the new cars, and yeah, that's it. So hopefully next year we'll see more people shift from the GT3s to the Class B, or from HBDs to Class B, but I don't know, it would be good to see it even spread throughout all three classes.
Yeah, it definitely would be, and I think we will see that. And what we need now is, I know I'm like a spoiled kid in a candy shop, we just need another type Class B and Class A car in there to really spice it up. But it's fantastic having that Corvette out there, and it's a fantastic looking car. I really like how they got the positioning in the window there for the spectators too. Anyway, Dylan.
So I was got a bit sidetracked there for a second. So just watching Brant come through some of the GT3 cars at the moment. Just sorry.
Yeah, we're actually riding with the gyro cam with him at that point. But before we let you go, Dylan, do you want to give a shout out to your sponsors today?
Yeah, just a big shout out to TPR Engineering for all their help and support. I think on behalf of All Star, I think they want to thank Unmetered Servers and their all their sponsors as well. So anyway, I can really remember at the top of my head, but yeah, so everyone gets behind them and them guys, and behind us as well. Yes, Daco Motorsport for all their help throughout the year. Custom Image Concepts, they always helping us out. So yeah, and especially you, Bernie, even though you haven't been on top of everything lately. No, it's not your fault, but you're trying your best to keep everything going and promoting the sport. So yeah, big shout out to you, mate, for all the hard work you do behind the scenes.
Yeah, no worries, mate. And although we're not getting as many broadcasts done in Season 4, as I'm having a bit of a breather, I am still working behind the scenes to improve RRTV, just to make the experience a lot better for our viewers out there. And for our viewers, I'd like to thank you for tuning in once again. It's been fantastic having you all here. But anyway, Dylan, we should let you get back to your team radio, and Brent's doing a great job out there.
Thanks, guys.
Adrian, it looks like you've jumped back in at the right time. We're about to call a break to part 2 here, and have a bit of a rest until we come to do the marathon later on this afternoon.
Yeah, Benny, ready to throw this technical issue right out the door and say goodbye to all of it, but I suppose I'll have to get something sorted soon, because I've got a race this afternoon as well, so don't want to be doing that while I'm racing. And yeah, the long broadcast, hopefully we'll have another Class B driver up here and commentating with myself as well, Bernie, hopefully. And yeah, no, it should be good. The boys are doing a great job, haven't they, all night. A few incidents there, I know I missed a couple as well just then, but no, all the boys are doing a great job out there, racing nice and clean. And some of the cars are looking a bit second hand, but just a bit of bad luck. But no, they're all doing a great job, and it should be an awesome end to the race this evening.
Oh, it certainly will be. We've only had 2 retirements while you're away. The 337 rough was parked. It was deemed unsafe to continue, and that's their day. The GT Omega number 14, that car's pretty well parked as well. It's 260 laps down now, and doesn't look like it's going to be coming out anytime soon. But anyway, Adrian, thanks so much for popping in and covering this 1 hour broadcast with Sam Sutton. It's been great having you here. To all our viewers out there, I hope you've enjoyed our 1 hour broadcast update. we will be back today at 4:30, and we'll be covering this race to the end, which will be another 4.5-5 hour broadcast live. But until then, folks, thanks for tuning in. I'm Bernie Wiemers, and you've been watching RRTV.